Chris Gray here, and I've got a video review for you. What's in my hot little hands right here? Ladies and gentlemen, it is the iPad Pro, 9.7-inch iPad Pro. It's 128 gigabytes in space gray. All right, so let's open this thing up. I can't believe I waited this long to get it open. All right, nice and tight. There we go. All right, right on top, there's the iPad. All right, we have the larger power brick. Let's see here. We have some paperwork. And of course, inside the paperwork are the stickers. And we have a lightning cable, the USB lightning cable, and that is everything. That's all there is in this box. All right, but here's where the beautiful part is here, the iPad. Okay, let's take the protective plastic off of the iPad. This is the 128 gigabyte version in space gray. The camera pops out, so that's got a, it kind of pokes out a little bit there, so it's not flush like on my previous iPad Air. And I wish I still had my old iPad to give it a side-by-side comparison. I do not, unfortunately. All right, and now we go to the front of the screen, which looks absolutely gorgeous. Touch ID, so you have your fingerprint scanner you can do right in there, which is really nice. And of course, we have the 4 speakers. You have 2 here on the bottom with your lightning connection, and then we'll have 2 here on the top with your 3.5 millimeter jack over here on the opposite side of the camera. Also, if you look here on the iPad Pro, you have this this fancy new power connector, or this multi-use connector here. I don't know what it's officially called, but that's how you can plug into different accessories, and the iPad will actually power those accessories, like the keyboard and other different third-party peripherals. Now, this is the Wi-Fi only version. I usually just tether it to my iPhone if I ever need to do any kind of data when I'm out and about. And what I was most excited for was the fact that we now have an actual good working camera here on the iPad. We have a 12 megapixel camera. We also have 2 gigabytes of RAM inside of the unit, and we have a decent sized battery as well. It's using a dual core chip, the A9X processor, and it also has the Power gaming GPU. I think it's called the Power VR Series 7. I think it's a 12-core graphics chip. I'm not entirely sure about that. It also has the magnets inside, if you have the appropriate case, that will shut the unit off when you're done using it. If you close the case, the magnets are on the other side, as opposed to where the Air and I believe the Air 2 used to be. So there's a little bit of a difference there. You have a touch capacitive screen now, so you can use the Apple Pencil. The front camera is a 5 megapixel camera, and before I forget, something else that I almost forgot to mention is there is a flash on the iPad Pro 9.7 inch. That's right, you have the True Tone flash, which I believe is 2 LEDs, so you get better pictures and more true to the color of your subject. You have a microphone here when you're recording video, and you can now record much better video than you could on the previous iPads. It is extremely thin. It's about the same thickness, give or take, of the iPad Air, and I'm telling you, this thing is absolutely awesome. It feels great in the hand. So some of the other things, you have built-in Bluetooth, as you would expect. Your Wi-Fi is using 802.11 A, B, G, N, and AC. You can do dual band. And like I mentioned before, you have the fingerprint sensor, or the Touch ID, as Apple calls it. You have the accelerometer, you have gyro, you have a compass, and a barometer. The performance versus my iPad Air so far has been phenomenal. The 9.7 inch, I think, is the right one to have, unless you need to have the bigger screen if you're doing something more professional or whatever. But I've been really happy with this form factor and size. To me, this is the sweet spot. You have the volume up and down, and there is no mute or silent switch. I don't know if you've seen that before. You knew that wasn't available. I didn't know that until just now. There is actually no switch to quickly silence the iPad. Is that a big deal? I don't think so. The lock button is right up here, up on this corner, so you can press that to lock your iPad down. All right, so after some time with the new iPad Pro 9.7 inch, I gotta say this thing is a beast compared to my old iPad Air. The iPad Air was a great iPad, and it served me for a good long time, but it was slow in comparison to the iPad Pro 9.7 inch. This thing is absolutely a hot rod in terms of iPad Gaming has been phenomenal. The games load up super quick, and the play is great, responsive. The audio quality has been phenomenal. And in future videos, I'll show off some gaming with it. And in some future videos, I'll show off some of the different apps and stuff that you can get that really show off how powerful the iPad Pro 9.7 actually is. So that being said, keep an eye out for more videos coming in the future. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time for another great video review.